Is this a village people reunion?
Ah, Paul, glad you're here. What's this for? Actually, you know what? Don't worry, I'm gonna freestyle it. You know how this place is fine, but basically just a bit expensive?
What are you doing?
I'm thinking we could build our own home.
Don't break anything.
A home within a home.
Like homeception?
Yes, no,
Here.
I mean not here, anywhere, like just...
I don't think you can just...
It's fine,
Because
we've got all the materials we need. We're gonna go
London there are
natural, look.
rules.
Look, we've got recyclable materials. We've got wooden materials. We've got glass.
No!
I can't believe you
Just-
would do this to me. Why weren't you wearing your helmet?
I don't have a helmet. You're wearing the helmet.
Oh, now you tell me.
There's one helmet.
So, Blueprints is a game of receiving blueprints and meticulously making someone else's design or not. It is a game of using ethically sourced material, wood and recyclable materials, or not. Basically, the important thing is just to make buildings.
From dice.
From dice. And before we begin, I'm just going to tug gently your flaccid attention towards what a gorgeous box this is. So first off, we've got this gorgeous box art, a nice sort of self-explanatory back. It doesn't come across on video, but the box has a nice kind of fabric finish.
Don't do that.
If we open it up, you're going to see some nice player screens, a nice thick board, some nice cards, a nice velveteen pouch full of nice dice, some nice player tokens, and what's important about all of this is that this box, the components fit snugly into the box, which means this is a game that cares more about your shelf space at home than it does claiming as large a shelf space as possible from your local game shop for marketing purposes. And when you live in London, where the average flat is smaller than the average dice, that's a really nice thing to find.
These dice actually represent materials as well, you see. You see this lovely green die? Ah, that represents recyclables, because recyclables are green, and green things are always good for the environment. And then the transparent die, that represents glass, because glass is transparent and glassy. And then the black die represents stone, because after stone hits you, everything goes black.
What about the orange one? Well, orange is wood, because wood is best and the colour orange is best, which is why we used a lot of orange.
All right, well, we've talked about this. First of all, orange is a disgusting colour.
Listen, you could have
It's
told
like
me
the
this
colour of illness.
before we covered the whole site in... But no one will be having stones thrown at them, because buildings in Blueprints don't fall down, they do not fail, they only ever sit there and get you lovely points. It's a bit like being a landlord, I suppose, where you can just have a building and not do anything and be happy.
Social commentary.
I wish we were landlords.
Blueprints is also a really good example of a
Quins,
particular
it is time. Join us in the order of
Type
landlords.
of game
But I don't know how to be a landlord.
that I really like to champion.
That's okay. You have the magic in your aura.
And that's what we call a gateway game, or
Spells?
sometimes
Landlord spells? Really? Yes.
an opener.
My God.
This is a game that you can use to lure new players into the hobby. It's bait to hook them into the pastime, but it's also a good way of opening your gaming evening. A nice light introduction before you dive nipple deep into 8 hours of space cat warfare. Blueprint starts like this. Each player will secretly receive a card, a blue card with a print on it, a three-dimensional representation of a building and a two-dimensional top-down view of what it would look like. Maybe something like that. These are suggestions of something a player can build. They are suggestions, however. They are one particular direction you can head in, a direction you should probably think about heading in, because completing one of these will score you points. However, there are other ways to score points in Blueprints too, additional ways.
Oh, yes. We should also talk about these dice you're actually building from, because every single one of these is worth points as well. So, once you've received your secret blueprint card, one player with Vim, Vigor, Chutzpah, and Soul is going to remove a number of dice from this bag
The sort of bag that Quinn gets really excited about in games.
You know what? This one isn't actually that nice. It's kind of like, it's like jeans material or something.
It's a good colour. It's blue. Blue's a good colour.
Yeah, it's an alright colour.
Should have made the site blue.
And on your turn, you're going to be taking one of these dice from the pool. Oh, sorry, you also have to roll them. That's important. You're going to look, and this is your available pool of dice. Now, on your turn, you're going to take one of these dice, denying it from everyone else, put it back, roll a new one, and sequester this somewhere on your sheet. But there are problems, because You can put these dice somewhere on the sheet where there's an available slot, but if you want to place another dice on top of it, it has to be the same number or higher.
The dice all score different amount of points according to different criteria. These green dice, for example, score you more points if you can connect them in a contiguous group with other green dice. Wood scores you more points if you can surround it with other dice. Stone, give me a stone.
Stone, that's cheating.
Stone scores more points the higher up you can place it. And glass scores you the amount of points equal to the side of the die that faces upwards, which means a 1 point piece of glass might be really useful as a foundation because it will sit at the bottom of your structure, but it's never going to score you very much. However, if you can connect a whole bunch of greens, make a whole building out of greens, well, that's payday.
I'm just going to point out there's some interesting stuff that happens to the market as well, because at the start of a game you might notice all the low numbers get snatched up by all the players, or all the green stuff gets snatched up by all the players.
So as you can imagine, things start to get a little bit complex as you start thinking about values of dice and placement of dice and different kinds of dice and combining those dice to score dice points and possibly along the way maybe build the structure that some optimistic architect was hoping you may actually choose to make. But the thing is, the points only determine whether you finish first, second or third in the order. There's other ways to grab cards that get you exciting victory points instead, and that can be just foregoing the nicest building and kind of going for the most building. For example, building the tallest structure possible. That'll get you 2 victory points. Building a structure that's made out of 4 dice that all show the same number. That'll get you 2 victory points. Or 5 dice that are all the same material. That'll get you 2 victory points. Or 1 die of each number from 1 to 6. That's an impressive achievement. That'll get you 2 victory points. These are the points that really matter. And racing for first, second or third place, that's only actually part of the challenge. So you can follow the suggestions given to you, or you can sort of throw the rulebook away and go batshit builder, and that can actually work out better.
Except you might throw the rulebook away, and then other players will take the dice you need. Watching other people take their turns in Blueprints is exciting, because in a pool of 7 dice, there might be 1 dice you really, really need, and that'll lead to things like... I will have some. I'll have some really good glass. No! So has anything that we've just described to you sounded particularly difficult to grasp? No, Blueprints isn't really a very complicated game. It's only complex in its possibilities. You might struggle to learn some of the scoring, but that's actually printed on the back of your thing, so that's always a boon in any game anyway. While there is an amount of improvisation, because you've always got new dice coming out of the bag and you have to consider new possibilities and plan ahead, it's actually not a very difficult game to just grasp and start playing. Yeah, it's the improvisation I really like, because for an architecture game it's really all about hubris, you know. You'll have your plan as to what you're going towards, but the game itself is about when you realise, when you admit that plan isn't going to work. There is so much dread, so much, well, okay, I've lost that, but maybe I can still go for this prize. And then that beautiful moment where you raise your screen and reveal you've made a mess. Or maybe you've made something bloody brilliant. You have done the landlords proud this day. Thank you, Lord Commander, Landlord. It is okay. You are now the Lord Commander Landlord. I knew this day would come.
Yeah, you've gone completely insane.
Silence!
But he is right to
Landlord Lightning Bolt.
To a point. And I also want to add, before he does Landlord Lightning Bolt me, there's a really cool tactility thing, that's the word I'm looking for, going on here as well, where you get to actually handle dice and assemble a lovely little thing made out of dice. If I'm making a glass house out of glass dice, they're not really glass, but I'm making a glass house. It's like a greenhouse. You can go and visit and get really hot in it. But that's a very cool little feature of the game, and it's actually wonderful if you're introducing people to gaming and you say, hey, look, it's a game with dice, but you don't just roll the dice, you actually do something else with them. Yeah. Isn't that neat?
If you're even vaguely interested in design, you're going to look at that and you're going to go, oh. And you're going to wonder what else you could do with cards, dice, components, wood. It's good.
You make things with cards? No, it
doesn't work. No. That's really stupid.
Sorry.
Just from a design perspective, let's talk about these screens a bit, okay? Blueprints would unquestionably be a more tactical game with more to consider if you could see what was happening behind your opponent's screens. You could see exactly what they were going for and what you needed to deny them. But they've chosen to include an extra component in order to sort of reduce the game, make less of a game. And that actually makes it better. Because when you hide this information, it turns Blueprints from a game of calculation into a game of guessing and of risk-taking. And that is so much more fun. It's also the kind of thing that teaches me that I could never design a game, because they've designed a good game and then included an extra component to hide all of it, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
But thanks.
I just agree.
Cool. It works.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep the site orange.
Still, I'm not humble enough that I'm not going to criticize Blueprints a bit. It felt a bit lightweight to me. I like games that end when you're still having fun, because then you want to get them off the shelves again and you'll play them a second time and a third time. But with Blueprints, I learned it, I played it, and then it was like, I felt like I'd finished the beginner game and was ready for something real. Like, this feels like the proof of concept for a big box game. Big box game where you're building a whole city together and you're fighting over zoning laws and building buildings and then selling and renting those buildings. And wouldn't that be great? This didn't quite give me enough.
Right, well, okay. I actually really quite like Blueprints. I like it a lot. It's kind of how I describe myself on a dating site. You know, chunky, appealing, fundamentally really quite simple.
Velveteen?
A bit cheap. Velveteen. Choking hazard.
Why would you be a choking hazard?
Because...
Oh, because small parts.
No,
choking hazards.
no, the opposite. Because
I don't understand.
big value, cheap but big value, large.
Well, I don't know.
No, I wrote this down.
If I would necessarily go out of my way to recommend Blueprints.
A bit jerkish.
But if you like
too jerky.
the look of it, then maybe you should buy it and have a nice.
If you like the look of me.
Time.
No, we're still talking about the game, aren't we? When we edit this, you can just put like my number at the bottom, can't you?
Oh man, imagine if there really was a League of Landlords, though.
Yes, Quinn.
And they said, "Quinns, it is time for." That'd have to be such a.
I don't know what you look. That's a cool building. That's like a tower. You could build it. You just.
All right, whatever. I'm just gonna go and get some dinner.
Yeah. Head off and do that.
What do you want? You want curry again?
Anything is fine. You know, head off. Nice idea. League of Landlords. No, don't worry. No, I just wanted to reassure you. He's not onto us. He doesn't really believe there's a League of Landlords. Yeah.